So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 19 of our F1 Manager 23 career mode, and this could be a very special episode here in season 4, because if we go to the constructors standings, we could win the Constructors' Championship at our home Grand Prix at the United States, the Circuit of the Americas. We are well in front of Red Bull, and I reckon a good result today makes us Constructors' Champions. Driver standings-wise, Lando Norris is 29 points in front of his teammate Pierre Gasly, who's on 338. Max Verstappen a little bit further back, who's the best of the rest, but don't write off Checo Perez as well, because he's coming on very strong, at least to get in the top 2 positions. So Checo Perez want to keep an eye on. Of course, if you didn't watch the last episode in Qatar, go back and watch that one. We did finish 3rd and 4th. The McLarens look incredibly quick at this moment in time, but we are performing very well and doing what we need to do. And what's going to help us this weekend is the fact that we have got a new chassis on the car. And you can see on the right-hand side, as we just look at the difference, this makes a massive difference to us compared to the old chassis. And it does mean that in terms of the car parts analysis, we are actually now the fastest car on the grid in top speed sectors. So this could be very important for us as we head to the Circuit of the Americas. 56 laps around here. It is a sprint weekend, so maximum points are available. Sunday is going to see some heavy rain in Texas, not usual. A historic safety car chance of 80%, and the expected strategy is a 2-stop, but obviously with the rain, that may change a little bit. All that being said, I'm going to get through practice, and I'll see you in qualifying for the United States Grand Prix. This is it then, ladies and gentlemen. Final flying laps in Q3. Lando Norris is out on a scrub set of soft compound tyres, and Lewis Hamilton has held him up massively there. Lewis Hamilton not best impressed with that, but Lando Norris, as he comes around the final corner, I think he's done enough, ladies and gentlemen. And it's got to be said, if you had to make a prediction now, you would be saying that Andretti Cadillac will win the Constructors this weekend. Pierre Gasly down in P5 at this moment in time, comes around the final corner. Is he going to have a blinding last sector? He isn't. Pierre Gasly only good enough for provisional P5. What can Max Verstappen do here? He comes into the pits, so for the sprint race on Sunday, Lando Norris on pole position and Pierre Gasly in P5. Let's have a look at what tyres we'll be using in the sprint. Right then, ladies and gents, I believe we did this last year, but we're going to do it again. Lando Norris is starting on the medium compounder tyre. He's going to just run away at the front, hopefully. Pierre Gasly's going to go on the softs, but we're going to do the old light tyre saving mode with Pierre Gasly. We know we've got a lot of rain tomorrow, but I'd like to save 2 sets of medium compound tyres. That's the reason why Pierre Gasly is on the soft compound. So P1 and P5, let's get to 5 red lights.
The grid is all set here in Texas for the 19 laps of today's sprint.
Always a popular event with the audiences in Austin. We're hoping to see drivers dueling it out around the Circuit of the Americas.
Well then, folks, it's time to get going. Things are hotting up here in Texas for the sprint. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and it's a very decent start for Lando Norris. Round the outside into turn 1. The McLaren, too busy defending from Leclerc. He's got him nowhere near Lando Norris, and Lando Norris looking to burn away here. He's been the quickest car all weekend, and he's 7 tenths ahead by the time we get to turn 2 and 3 and we go through these winding bends in sector 1. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly is just a 10th behind the McLaren of Oscar Piastri, looking left and right, trying to go for a move on this McLaren. Remember, we have a chance to win the Constructors' title at our home Grand Prix. What a Grand Prix weekend this could be under the sunshine in Texas. As we can see, Lando Norris pulling away now, 8 tenths of a second to Checo Perez, still pushing on as much as he can to break that DRS. Leclerc in P3, Piastri P4, Pierre in P5. Looks like we've had a crash on circuit. We're just keeping an eye on it, and it's Oscar Piastri into turn 1. Gasly round the outside. Is there a touch there? He forces him wide, does Piastri, and then Pierre Gasly comes back at him. It must be said, he wasn't the cleanest of overtakes. I'd have to say Pierre Gasly, I felt a little bit hard done to there as the McLaren garage is starting to scramble towards the screens. We have just got minor front wing damage. So disappointing for Pierre Gasly as it stopped it. That is so disappointing for Pierre, and he may have to come in to the pits for a pit stop here. So disappointing for Pierre Gasly. Lando Norris is running away with it at the front. 1.2 seconds now is the gap between himself and Perez, but we're going to monitor Gasly very closely because we may have to bring him into the pits. Lap 2. into the pits on lap 4 comes Pierre Gasly. We can't continue any longer with Pierre, unfortunately. It is going to be, we're going to have to go from the back here. It's so disappointing. We are going to strap on another set of the soft compound tyres, but it's very, very disappointing, it must be said, for Pierre Gasly. This could hinder our weekend. It could hinder our chances of getting the Constructors' title. It's an 8.8 second stop, to be fair. That's not bad from the team. Do you fancy us to catch a Hugo Boss? That's probably the big question we can ask now. Lando Norris is just bringing everything back into line in terms of his car, but Pierre Gasly wasn't even being that aggressive. Piastri has not got a penalty, as we can see the Star Spangled Banner flying high above turn 1. Gasly out in dead last. There's lots of crashes in this sprint race, and it's another McLaren. It's Checo Perez fighting with Charles Leclerc, and it's so close, and it's just a bit scruffy once again, and Checo Perez is not quite happy, and neither is Charles Leclerc. Don't think there was any damage for the two cars there, but the yellow flag once again, Lando Norris in front, by the way, is 5.6 seconds, and we may have had another crash here. Let's just have a little look at this. We certainly have. It's Hamilton and Verstappen. Hamilton goes for the dive down the inside, and Max does possibly not. Oh, and it's just so scruffy. Hamilton gets very across there. I mean, let me know down in the comments whose opinion you feel is right there and who's at fault. But my word, Hamilton and Verstappen coming together. It's all happening here today. But one thing that is happening is Lando Norris is well in front of Charles Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz is doing okay as well. Carlos Sainz is doing okay. He's in P15 for the Audi, but Pierre Gasly right at the back in P20, now 6 seconds behind the Hugo Boss of Raikkonen. This could be very crucial for the Constructors' title, because Max Verstappen, after that incident with Lewis Hamilton, has had to pit to the back of the grid. Max Verstappen now running in P20, Hamilton in P19, and Gasly in P18. Gasly now's caught up to Tsunoda, who's had a little spin as well. So Pierre Gasly now starting to attack the cars in front. Lando Norris very much leading the way, lap 9. And on lap 10, Oscar Piastri's pit. Everybody who's been involved in these crashes is starting to pit. Pierre Gasly now right on the back of Raikkonen and Tsunoda, just keeping his tyres in check. But what could happen here? This could be a factor of whoever's starting last. The last to first could be quite something at the Circuit of the Americas tomorrow. We've got 9 laps to go. Gasly now in P17. I reckon he can probably get up to 13th, 12th maybe, Pierre Gasly. And if he beats a Red Bull tomorrow, we'd be very happy with that. This could be the most impactful, entertaining, just eventful race. Oscar Piastri is now spun on the soft compounded tyre, avoiding action for Lewis Hamilton behind. My word, it is all going on here in Texas. So disappointing. This guy can't believe what's happening. My word, the McLaren all the way back in P19. Gasly's now up to P16 and chasing down Yuki Tsunoda. I mean, this is just getting silly. We've had another crash on circuit. Let's have a look at what's happened here. We can see Pierre Gasly got caught up in it. It's Liam Lawson. Oh dear. The two Williams, are they going to come together into turn 1? Oh, it's going to cause some problems in the Williams garage. There were cars stopping left, right and centre, and that is not looking good at all for the Williams. This lady here is absolutely distraught in the Williams garage. She can't believe that they've ran into each other. Pierre Gasly now in P15 again. Apparently an overtake has failed. But Gasly now, my word, anything could happen here today. Maybe the Williams will have to pit. I'm just looking if there's any damage on that Williams. There certainly looks to be damage on Zhou Guanyu's car. Norris, by the way, 8 seconds in front, 5 laps to go. Just enjoying his drive around Texas. I'm guessing the Williams are going to pit, so Gasly's going to gain another couple of positions. 3 laps to go. You join us back in the live action. Piastri's caught up with Lawson, but it's a lovely move from Pierre Gasly. Shoves him a little bit wider. He's now got Yuki Tsunoda still in front of him. Tsunoda's making his way through this pack rather well. 3 laps to go. Gasly into P13. Norris still leading. You join us back. Lando Norris has won the sprint here in Texas, but it's all eyes on Pierre Gasly, who is fighting with Oscar Piastri. It must be said the tyres from Pierre Gasly are absolutely dead now, and he's having to just push on and try and get to the end of this Grand Prix. Where would Pierre Gasly have finished today? I'd have fancied him certainly in the top 3. He's had the pace all weekend. We may even take some engine components. Zhou Guanyu is holding everyone up here, which is helping Pierre with his tyres. He's just been a little bit more aggressive towards the end of this sprint race. This has been one of the best sprint races I think we've had on F1 Manager 23 this year. And as he comes round the final corner, is he going to go for a move? Pierre Gasly down the inside. He can't quite get the move done on the Audi, but that is going to be all she wrote. Pierre Gasly is going to come home in P13. What a sprint.
And the winner of today's sprint, Lando Norris.
And what a well-deserved P1 finish that was. Absolutely outstanding.
So there we have it then. Lando Norris winning the sprint, Charles Leclerc in P2, Perez P3, Ocon in P4, Russell, Porsche and Ricciardo in the Haas, Alfa Romeo Haas as well done to them, Bottas in P8 and Albon in P9. Going to be a very, very interesting race. Let's get to Sunday. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an interesting one this, because if we have a look at the strategy, the rain is going to come down around lap 30. Now, we could have hung it out on the hard compound tyres. I reckon it's worth going medium, medium, then going onto the inters or the wets, whichever it needs to be. And then we have a little session at the end on either a set of soft compound tyres or medium. It's going to be a great end to the Grand Prix. Both cars are going to be on this. If we just have a look at, we've got fresh soft compound tyres for Lando. He might have to go mediums all the way, Pierre Gasly. But Lando Norris starting in P1, Gasly in P11. Let's get to 5 red lights.
We're not far off now here in Austin as the drivers ready themselves for this 56-lap race. Now I wonder, will things be going Lando Norris's way in this race?
They start in P1, but will they be able to stay there? The first corner could be so crucial.
Right, let's get to it then. Sit tight and get ready. It's the United States Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and we've got such a mixture of tyre compounds early doors. Lando Norris again leading away into turn 1. We've got Perez on the hard compound tyre, as is Ocon. Ocon's got ahead of Perez, which could be absolutely crucial. Perez in P3. Looks like Albon is dropping back. Please tell me that Pierre Gasly, I believe, has just got minor side pod damage. He has not had the best of weekends so far, Pierre Gasly. He's been involved in every incident. What's happened here? He tries to turn in into turn 1. Doesn't quite leave the space. You must always leave the space. And Pierre Gasly has had an incident again at turn 1. He's gained a position into P10, but now has got side pod damage, which he's just going to have to suffer with all the way through this Grand Prix. Not ideal for Pierre Gasly. Very ideal for Lando Norris, who's pushing on, and he's a second ahead of Ocon straight away. Perez in P3, and Gasly looks like he's got a time penalty as well. Is it going to flash up at the top of the screen? I don't believe it is, but Pierre Gasly has got a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision into turn 1. Can't get any better for him, can it? Lap 4, despite broken side pods, Pierre Gasly is starting to do the business. He's just got past the Alfa Romeo Haas of Daniel Ricciardo. Lovely move, and by the time we got to the braking zone, the job was nearly done. Lovely work from Pierre Gasly. You can see a Ferrari in front of him, you may notice, but on lap 4, Lando Norris is leading by 3.1 seconds. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix, of course, Perez in P3, and comes Tsunoda, Russell, Leclerc, Bottas, Joe, Gasly, of course, has got that penalty to serve. Then Ricciardo, Verstappen only in P14. As things stands, if we just have a little look at the constructor standings, we'd be on 690, Red Bull would be on 457. I'll come back when I've worked that out in my head, but I reckon that's 233 points. I think that's bang on. It's another overtake from Pierre, and to be fair, the fact he's doing this with side pod damage is fantastic, but it's a lovely move into the left-hander, and Pierre Gasly's past the Williams and now on the back of the Mercedes. Let's have a look who that Mercedes is. Pierre Gasly now on the back of Valtteri Bottas for P7. This is Norris still leading, 4.6 seconds the gap.
Look at that.
This could be one of those days where it's an overtaking masterclass from Pierre, because now he's got Valtteri Bottas, DRS wide open into turn 1. You can see the next gaggle of cars in front of him, but Gasly passed Bottas on that hard compounder tyre. Next up is a Red Bull, and the Red Bull of Red Bull of George Russell. That used to saying Checo Perez, but no, it's George Russell who's next up, and he's only 1.2 seconds behind. He's the gas man. I mean, I'm starting to wonder if these side pods have been damaged in a positive way, because he's just got George Russell now as Pierre Gasly. He's up into P6, and that man you can see leading in front there in that McLaren is the man who is in at P2. You can see the damage on Pierre Gasly's car as we just watch it into this final left-hander. The right-hand side pod's fine, but the left one isn't. But balance-wise at the moment, Gasly is looking very, very comfortable indeed. He's only in P6, but he's doing very, very well. Lando Norris, 7.9 seconds to Checo Perez. Lap 13, you join us back. Pierre Gasly now stuck in a little bit of a DRS train behind Charles Leclerc. But Charles Leclerc is pitting, so Charles Leclerc into the pits on the soft compound tyre. Let's just have a little look at what Charles Leclerc goes on to. Gasly goes through. He's now chasing Yuki Tsunoda. He's seen the back of that Aston Martin a fair bit this weekend. We're going on to the medium compounded tyre for Ferrari. It's a decent pit stop. 12 seconds now is the gap between Norris and Perez. But Gasly, looking at the back of two Aston Martins, he's got this 5-second pit stop penalty that he's got to serve. But at the moment, you wouldn't back against him getting a podium. You wouldn't back against him getting a podium. And Pierre Gasly now, DRS wide open. The Aston Martin couldn't cope with him any longer. And Gasly is now up into P4. We are going to be coming in the next couple of laps with our guys. We find it now probably the right time to start pitting. Both our guys now starting to get its optimal pit stop lap now. Perez, it makes sense to get Gasly in, I think, and then we'll get Norris in. Lap 16, pit stops coming soon. Pierre Gasly has has overtaken Esteban Ocon. We all enjoy watching Gasly overtake Ocon. These are compound tyre runners who are running towards the rain. It's not looking very positive at the moment. Gasly now up into P3, and it must be said, we've just got the notification it's the optimal pit stop lap for Pierre Gasly, and he's going to be coming in on the next lap, but Lando Norris is coming in as well. Pit lane for Lando Norris, lap 16. This was the time we thought we wanted to be coming in, and both of our cars are coming in this lap. This is the optimal time to pit for both cars, and in comes Lando Norris trundling in on this medium compounded tyre onto a set of medium compounded tyre. Is it going to be a good stop? It must be said, our guys are going to get a lot of pit stop practice today. 3.2 seconds. I reckon he might come out in front of Checo Perez. Gasly's into the pits. We're just going to watch Lando Norris. And where is Checo Perez? Checo Perez coming up the start-finish straight. Is he going to come out behind Perez? He is. Is he going to come out behind Ocon? He isn't. So he's fed in to a nice gap just behind Checo Perez. We've got a pit stop penalty, of course, for Pierre Gasly. Now the medium compound tyre is going in slow motion. It's 8.3 seconds. It just had to be done, but we've got rid of it at a good time. Lando Norris now pushing on these medium compounded tyres. He will be attacking Checo Perez, and I doubt that he's going to be behind Checo Perez for very long. Where does Pierre Gasly come out? Zhou Guanyu coming up towards turn 1. Is he going to run into the back of Gasly? No, he isn't. Gasly out into clean air. Worked very, very well, that. And it didn't take Lando Norris very long to get past Checo Perez. I can't speak today, ladies and gentlemen. Lando Norris into turn 1, gets the job done. Fantastic work from Lando. And that's it now. He can push on once again and look to build that gap. Because, of course, we've got the rain coming. Pierre Gasly now attacking. He's just got his tyres back into the temperature window, which he needs to, as has Lando Norris. Time to run away now for both cars. We're just going to put on the ERS a little bit on both as well, just to catch up to the cars in front. Just to bring you up to date on the track conditions, around lap 30 it is going to hammer it down. I reckon Inters will be the way to go. Be interesting to see what the other cars do. And once again, we are seeing Pierre Gasly making moves, and it's a lovely move into the final corner, to be fair. Gasly, remember, with side pod damage, now on the back of a Red Bull, and beating Red Bulls today has a significant impact on the Constructors' title. Gasly, lovely work from him, and now he's up into P11, just a second behind George Russell. We know he's quicker than him today, but one man who's quicker than everyone else is Lando Norris in P1. 7.4 seconds now, he's gapped Perez. Ridiculous from Lando Norris. Lap 25, the rain is starting to come over the horizon, but Pierre Gasly now has overtaken Max Verstappen. Lovely work from him. You can see he's stuck behind this Alfa Romeo Haas, and I'm hoping he's going to get past him rather quickly. Just to bring you up to date on the weather situation, we are expecting in 3 minutes to have a little bit of a downpour. 17 seconds is the gap between Perez and Norris. Gasly's in P9 now, trying to attack Porsche, which he's doing with aplomb. But let me just show you this, because we are expecting it to go damp then wet. It's going to be very interesting to see whether Inters or wets are the optimum tyre. My suggestion would be probably intermediates, but we have got the time specifically with Lando Norris to react on whether to go on to the wets or the Inters. Gasly in P8 hasn't quite got that buffer, but at the moment both are attacking on the tyres. We have got a lot of cars coming into the pits, and as you can see, the Red Bulls have double stacked onto the intermediate tyres. Everyone at the moment seems to be on intermediates. Our two guys are pushing like mad to get round the track before it goes to perfect intermediate conditions. But at the moment, everybody is gone on to Inters, so we're going to do the same. We are in this lap. And into the pits comes Lando Norris. He's got a 41-second gap has Lando Norris. If this is a decent pit stop, this could basically secure the Grand Prix. Let's hope we get a decent one. Into the pits we come. The medium tyre is off. The intermediate tyre is on, and Lando Norris trundles out. It's just turned through damp conditions. Gasly's struggling a little bit. Norris is going to come out very, very comfortably. We'll come back when Gasly's in the pits. And into the pits comes Pierre Gasly. Now, Lando Norris, I mean, beautifully got out. I mean, he's so far in front, it's ridiculous. But in comes Pierre Gasly onto the intermediate tyres. Is it going to be a decent pit stop for Pierre? It certainly is. Now, where is Pierre going to come out? We can see Piastri just coming down the final corner. Where is Russell? That's really who we're fighting. The Red Bulls today with Pierre Gasly. And Gasly now trundling out of the pit lane. Is he going to be in front of the Red Bull of George Russell? I believe he is. George Russell just coming up the start-finish straight, but Gasly's out in P8 now onto the intermediate tyres. You join us back on lap 33. It's exceptionally moist here in Texas. Let's just have a quick rundown of the top 10. It's Lando Norris in P1 with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Then comes Perez, Leclerc, Piastri in P4, Ocon in P5, Bottas in P6, Tsunoda in P7, Gasly in P8, just behind Yuki Tsunoda. Russell a further 5.6 seconds back. Verstappen is out of the points. This could be the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to start going aggressive on the tyres once again. But both Andretti Cadillacs scoring serious points. Is this going to be our weekend? He can overtake in the dry, he can overtake in the wet, and Pierre Gasly into turn one, gets Yuki Tsunoda. What could have been if he hadn't got side pod damage and that penalty? My word, Pierre Gasly's been amazing so far this weekend. And now he's behind a Mercedes. I'm guessing that's the... Mercedes. Behind a Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas, who we are now trundling around. 30 seconds is the gap between Norris and Perez. As long as Norris keeps this up, it's his for the taking. Pierre Gasly once again. It's just a Gasly highlights show, isn't it? Pierre Gasly into the final corner. Lovely work overtaking that Mercedes. Fantastic again. You can see another Mercedes just up the road from him, but he's putting distance between himself and the Red Bulls behind him. This is looking very, very good indeed. Perez just closing the gap a little bit on Lando Norris, but we're not too concerned about that. We've nearly saved all his fuel as well. Looking very, very good indeed. We are expecting it to change to dry over a certain period. We're going on to the mediums at the end. Look at that. Track condition changes to dry. Lando Norris is into the pits. That is absolute clockwork for a medium set of tyres. As long as no dramatic pit stops here, Lando Norris should have this in the absolute bag. Into the pits comes Lando Norris. We get a very interesting camera angle. Is it a decent stop? Certainly is. 3.1 seconds. We'll take that all day long, and that should be job objective complete for Lando Norris. He's going to come out well in front of his nearest competitor, Charles Leclerc. And of course, we will be back very, very shortly, because as Lando Norris trundles out, the cars behind start coming in. Leclerc's in, Perez is in. We'll come back when Gasly's in. And into the pits comes Pierre Gasly. Everyone coming into the pits. Lando Norris is so far in front. It's absolutely ridiculous at this moment in time. We are just going to save his tyres for possibly another fastest lap attempt. But into the pits comes Pierre Gasly. Now, Pierre could do a decent stop here. We've got cars going onto soft compound tyres. We are going onto mediums. Is it going to be a decent stop from the boys? He doesn't get held either. Very important from Pierre Gasly. He's going to come out in P6 now. He's got a bit of battery to use as well. The tyres in front of him, we're going to keep an eye on the tyres in front of him. They've all gone into fresh sets of softs. They will wear. He might be in a good position towards the end here, Pierre. Do you know what? Lando Norris, we just went for the fastest lap of the Grand Prix and he got it. It's as simple as that. Lando Norris has controlled proceedings today. We're just going to calm him down now. Pierre Gasly's doing everything he can to try and catch up with these cars in front. We're going to push him now to try and get Ocon. Piastri looks a little bit too far away, but P5 today, Pierre would certainly take that. This has been one of the most eventful weekends, and oh, it's Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen into turn one. It's a dive round the outside from the Alfa Romeo, and he crashes into Max Verstappen. Has that just confirmed? I mean, Verstappen was out of the points anyway, but does that mean, I mean, he sounds very sewer, does Max Verstappen there, but has that just handed Andretti Cadillac, has it confirmed the Constructors' title? 3 laps to go, Lando Norris leading at Canter. Gasly cannot quite get Ocon. We're going to have one last push to try and do so. With 3 laps to go, I think it's in the bag. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you have to just appreciate greatness. And it must be said, Lando Norris has been unstoppable this weekend. That new chassis, that last upgrade package, that last little push to get us over the line this season. And Lando Norris looking ever more likely to be the Drivers' Champion. But this may have just secured the World Championship for the Constructors for Andretti Cadillac. Just drink this in, because I'm pretty sure this is job done. I might be wrong, but my word, Lando Norris round the final corner. Whatever happens today, it's been fantastic in Austin, amazing in Austin, and Lando Norris wins the Austin, Texas, United States Grand Prix. Lando Norris, unbelievable. And we'll just have a little fast forward now for Pierre Gasly, because as he just fast forwards towards the end, Pierre Gasly's been fantastic on the day. He's had a lot of adversity this weekend, and to come on P6 and beat a Red Bull by 15 seconds is absolutely impressive. And Pierre Gasly crosses the line in P6. It's going to be one hell of a nice podium here in Austin.
What a remarkable effort we've seen from Alpine this year, deserving winners of the Constructors' title.
They've really dominated this season. The competition struggled to mount a serious challenge.
And after such a fabulous drive here today, it's no surprise to see this man land on the podium.
Taking their 8th win of the season, there's just no stopping them.
So, ladies and gentlemen, your podium for the United States Grand Prix.
Your podium for the United States Grand Prix, and we have won the Constructors' title. Ladies and gentlemen, what an effort that has been from the start of Season 1 to get Alpine, now Andretti Cadillac, up to the top step on the Constructors, beating Red Bull. And I mean, just look at these scenes from the garage. Fantastic work from the team. And now could we possibly get a 1-2 in the drivers? We'll have a look in a moment, but Lando Norris wins 26 points. Fantastic work. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc P2, Perez in P3, Piastri 8 positions gain in P4, then came Ocon, Gasly in P6, Russell P7, Tsunoda P8, Hamilton 11 positions gain, fair play to him, and Valtteri Bottas in P10. Constructors standings wise, Andretti Cadillac are your Constructors champions. 2026, what a year it's been, and Andretti will be on the top step at the end of the season. It must be said, who is going to be on the top step in the driver's title? It's looking a bit like Lando Norris now, isn't it? Lando Norris in P1, 402 points. He is 56 points in front of Pierre Gasly. It's a bit of a gap for him to close, but Gasly has been fantastic as a driver as well. Verstappen in P3 can't get anywhere near us. Perez could beat Verstappen to third in the driver standings. Ladies and gentlemen, please do like and subscribe. We're going to have another massive season next year, another massive season on F1 Manager 24 and series on the game. But we're going to finish this with a flurry and hopefully with a driver's title to add to our Constructors. I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra.